All right, guys, it's time. It's that time. It is the Siaka versus CorayThan.
Shaka! It's Shaka!
Yeah, whatever. You should say SH, not SI. No, just kidding. Nah, I know it's Shaka. I just always forget when I'm reading off of the script. But so what we're here to do is we're here to talk a little bit about this. This what we got here as far as like the situation at hand, right? For Group B is Shaka is obviously locked. He's a juggernaut. He's like going crazy, doing his thing. But
He's trying to finish the perfect season, trying to go 6-0-12.
right,
That's what we have here.
right. So if he's able to do that, well, let's talk about CorayThan. Like Nathan basically has to win here. If he wins, he's in. Like he gets to go forward. But if he is to lose 0-2 and Shaka continues his juggernauting streak, that puts Rodian and Flaming Hobo as another like play-in kind of match. Like basically, if Rodian beats Hobo, Rodian is still is in, even though he's like the one that's farthest down the line. And it would basically be Rodion and Aviator. And so that's crazy. Aviator's pretty comfy right now. He looks like he's locked in. Wait, is he? No, maybe not. He's not fully locked in, is he? Yeah, he's fully
I
locked in. He's locked in
think.
someplace because he's got the heads up with Corey, and he has a loss against Hobo, but
I don't think he is locked because Nathan can end 4-2-4 and Hobo can end 4-2-3,
4-2. Oh yeah, if they both win, yeah, that I guess
right?
yeah. So that means
Nobody's locked for crap, guys, except for
Shaka.
Shaka.
Yeah, so Shaka. So there's like all kinds of math here. So we got the only things we know here is that Tauntaun and Xander are not in the mix, and that's the
And that
only thing.
Shaka is,
And Shaka
uh,
is absolutely in. Yeah, at
if
0-1.
anyone had any doubts preseason, Shaka is legit. He is here to win KFPL Season 2. He has declared that here in group loud and proud.
Yeah, no doubt. And hi Joe, what's up? So with all that said, let's take a look at the decks now and see what goes on there as we move into the game. So the first three decks we're going to look at, these are obviously Nathan's decks, and you can always tell because you see Anteater here, and he never leaves home without it. It's like his American Express card. Um, and then we have Nathan's Seat, his other go-to game, and then he has Smoke, is what this one is shorthanded, I believe. So
Yep.
these are your decks. These are your guys' decks, Z. So I'm gonna let you go
This
ahead and
is
take it.
the team decks. Nathan's got a lot of airtime,
Yeah.
mainly because he's been in so many pivotal games recently. I'm not sure he's enjoying that. So again, we have the Thai language deck on the left, MM. Lots of value on play, lots of speed. You can flood the board with mutants over and over and over again. While you're doing that, you're constantly killing all the creatures on the other side. You're really just forcing them to answer you almost every turn. That's what the deck does. We have not seen it played that much. Then we're moving over to in the middle. We have Deirdre, Nathan Seat, Viceroy. It's double EE, triple Imperium, double Lay of Land, double Stealth Mode, double Alert, double Exhume. Like lots of that double stuff that Jupiter likes to talk about. He loves the decks that have that because they play the same almost every time. Really, really hard to play against Nathan Seat if your deck has this because the EEs just kind of eat you. And then you have to deal with this somewhat weird. It's not a big board, but it is an effective board that is created by Saurian and Starlines, which we've seen both come short and absolutely crush in games throughout the season. The final deck in his lineup is his baby, Shrewd Anteater Ice. He plays it quite a bit. He plays it quite well with Triple Mother, Time Traveler, Double Control the Weak, Double Life Ward. The Help from Future Self is the real linchpin that like kind of cycles all that stuff back. Enough, enough Amber Control in Shadows to be somewhat relevant, but as we've mentioned already before throughout the season, it is the weaker house of the three, and most of the time is WinCon. It's just the massive amounts of pressure that the disc and the logo put on.
Yeah, and so this is an interesting thing because I was looking at these decks earlier trying to figure out my bands and like how I would play these three decks. But let's take a quick look at I have to go back and grab it because I closed it, I think, on accident. This is why I linked them to Z ahead of time.
Yeah, well,
All right,
I'll
so
let you find it so you can talk through the
no, I got it.
Shaka side of life.
Yeah, so Shaka is here, and he basically, I do not have the correct background, but I will switch it. The I was looking at his decks, and Guru is just a monster, right? Like that deck is just stupid good. Has lots of recursion, lots of redundancy, neutron shark, double E-Day. I don't see Guru like getting the play here. But one of the interesting things I am thinking as far as my bans go for these three decks is like we do know that Chi Kaka, whatever it's called, is the double the
EQ, just EQ.
EQ. I like Chi Kaka better. It means poop in Portuguese, but like this is like the like crazy Martian generosity key abduction deck that can like key abduction 3 times in one turn because of seeds and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's a really gross deck. All these decks are really bad. And then there's BJ Nevin Nest, right, of the Selfless Cavern, which is a value deck with lots of like Amber Generation, has the Vault's Blessing and stuff. So with this matchup in
And
my
Punk.
Yeah, that's even punctuated equilibrium. But the thing that I was looking at in these matchups, because we've talked about these decks in like ad nauseum. So like I was looking and I'm thinking if I'm Shaka and I'm looking at these lists. It's like I have to think that Nathan's gonna kill Guru, right? Because Guru is just like really, really good, and that's like an auto loss. But there's a little bit of a game with that, right? Because of Nathan's seat and like wanting to play against Dis. But I don't think he's gonna gamble that. But if that's the case, then I think Smoke has to be the ban because that gives his Nevernest like a huge advantage in any game that it plays because of the Vault's Blessing and the amount of mutants that it plays. So that's where
Yeah, Vault's Blessing is most likely unplayable. Okay. It's
yeah.
like, here, take 10 Amber.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like my call for this after doing some looks at it and stuff like that in the early call is that I believe that we are going to see a ban of Guru because that just makes sense because Guru is like really good, I think, and I think have to ban Smoke because you know that if he bans Guru, that means Nevanest is gonna go nuts, right? Like that's just gonna be pure value, and if he doesn't, and if he bans like say maybe the Martian Generosity deck, because that isn't a horrible choice, like because that gives Nathan Seat some kind of go, then like it's still Smoke, I think, because Smoke is just like it's just too fast. Like it has way too much speed, and I think the other two are more fair, if we can use the term
I think
fair.
an interesting thing to notice between these two players is that we talked about like the people that have the best triads are going to be end of season. Some of the people that have had their deck banned once. Nathan has had his decks banned once, twice. Shaka decks have banned one, 3 times. Guru being the one that has 3 and the other two's 1. So I think that's a very good sign that I think both players' triads are very effective at forcing your opponent to make really hard decisions. Because I think it's a big nod to the skill of the players to select a triad if of their decks got at least 1 strike.
Yeah, I don't
As far
know.
as the event goes.
So who do you think? Who do you think? This is Grayson, my littlest dude. He's my not mine,
Yeah,
mine.
Grayson.
He's tired and he's like crying, so he's gonna sit on my lap.
I didn't see or was involved with any of the Nathan practice this week.
Yeah.
I do, however, know that
Hi.
I think, let me
Say
double
hi.
check, I'm not saying stupid things. Yeah, none of Nathan's
Hi.
decks have artifact control.
You're not gonna go home today.
So from my perspective, I'm probably banning EQ because the deck is just going to freaking beat you. So I don't know. I haven't been involved in the conversation of the week. I've been super busy, so I don't know if that's the actual call, and I do understand it's leaving the like 2 higher card value decks out there to beat. But I don't. There's a bunch. Well, Anteater would still probably have the advantage of EQ, but like the way EQ plays, you're just gonna lose at some point if you don't answer what's going on.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I said, it's really a coin toss, like what kind of pain you want to deal with. But I think that generosity is explosive, but it can still draw bad, and like you can get away with.
Well, for me, it's more the glimmer in the 2 seeds. Like when I talked about this before, we haven't seen it a whole lot, but it's not necessarily drawing bad in this deck. If they can't answer the seed, you can play Martian Generosity whenever you see it. Draw the other 2 seeds, and then glimmer back your generosity later.
Yeah, I guess Nathan has 0 artifact control, so that makes sense that maybe
Yeah,
he
like
wants to
the
get rid of
double
it.
seed against 0 artifact control played with a skilled pilot, I think
But does
it should just be purely advantage, with the exception of Anteater. Anteater has enough actual like house call control
yeah.
that obviously gives Martian generosity decks, because
Yeah.
if they can't
I think
do their setup turns, then there's
I think he would rely on that, like on Anteater being able to beat EQ, because I don't think he has a deck that can beat Guru.
again, I have no idea how practice went. Guru is real good. It's gotten nasty.
Yeah, like
Um,
I just don't see it. It's like triple exhume, like nothing but good stuff to bring back.
well, you
Like,
got the triple too much to protect, and then the eddies to
yep,
fuel that cost.
yep,
Like that's hard to deal with. For any deck,
yep,
mostly.
yep. And then you have all the taxing and stuff too. Like, it's
You've
just
got the auto shark in there just to add insult to injury inside of all of
and
these
that
other good things going on.
and that's just like automatic win if that lands early. We've seen that,
Mm-hmm.
like where it just goes nuts in lesser decks. So like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think Guru can play, and I don't think Smoke can play. And in that case, then we are left with an interesting matchup for Anteater versus the Ganka. And then I think Deidre does fine against Nevin Nest, but Nevin Nest could still just outgas it, right? And like you do have Eaton's Jar in Never Nest as well, so like it might be difficult because like if you turn off the EAs, I guess Deidre gets a lot significantly worse, right? Like I don't know. Like it'll be interesting. They're both great players. Like like I said, we don't practice these decks, so we don't know which way it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
go. Like which way the coin flip is gonna go. But these are just pretty good, and I fully think that Guru gets banned. I fully think Smoke gets banned, and I think that like the key matchups here are gonna be Anteater getting to hit on the generosity, and then like I think Deidre gives him a chance against Nevernest, and if it's not like Nevernest is gonna gas him. Like such a good deck. Like this is a super solid triad. Like what Shaka brought to the table for this event is absolutely perfect for a triad. So I'm pretty.
Yeah, there are some like things that we saw like that Team Sass was talking about this week, that
Mm-hmm.
had we done this over, we might have like centralized like certain deck pools in certain spots.
Mm-hmm.
Because we tried to just share the wealth as evenly as possible this season, and we thought that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We did that too.
so
We were
we'll
pretty.
see.
We were pretty all over, but we had a lot of good decks. So it's not like they were playing trash if they got the thing. But yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, and I guess we're gonna see 100% like what these guys are gonna bring to the table as far as the game goes and stuff. This one's gonna be a classic. Like I think this is gonna be one of the better games that we get to watch here. Like in a if, you know like in a bit. Like so. Let me go see where they are at. We are done actually a little bit early this time because we don't have to talk about these decks
Yeah,
anymore.
we'd seen these a lot. I think we probably talked about Shaka's deck slightly less than Nathan. Nathan's been on so many times.
Yeah.
Um, so
Um,
yeah,
yeah, so I am doing your head a favor right now and switching up my background art for you, so I could be happy.
yes. Um, I
uh,
guess while we're waiting, I can look at Nevinest a little bit more. We did really only feature that one time. I think the big thing is has the auto encoder plus punctuate equilibrium that it's so good, and so if those come in the right order, obviously it's real hard for your opponent to catch up. If it comes in the reverse order, it's not as great, but still good. Jar is always a threat. It is plaguing many contestant throughout this event that have to face it.
okay, so I do know Corey's band. He sent it to me in PM, but I think they're getting ready to do the strike tool. So
Yeah, they shared the strike tool, so we should be getting that. But while we wait, I guess we can talk about the 24th a little bit. So those that are tuned in, all 7 folk, we have posted it online. We have not officially promoted it. That will be happening, I think, by this weekend. I think Vaughn mentioned she'll be done with art by then. But yeah, so say dismiss the disc. No deck can be 90 or higher, so that means it has to be 89 or lower. You'll get to bring 2 decks with no matching houses between the 2 decks. You'll get to see your opponent's list. They'll get to see your 2 decks. You will choose which one of your own you want to play. There's no strike, so it's more of a gamesmanship decision. And then you'll play 6 rounds of Swiss best of 1 matches, and the X2 will make top cut, and we'll go from there. Should be fun. Not the Dark Tidings we were hoping for, but I think this is a nice way to say goodbye to this and see what rises to the top from a non-dis world.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. Like we'll see what happens. Like I think we're gonna see a lot of like rush and just value. Like but it could be wrong. But I think that's where the game lies with that. It becomes a logos meta, which is what we're gonna see in Dark Tidings. So
well, only half of the decks that can come will have logos, so it will be interesting to see what players are choosing for their deck that doesn't have logos. Because I think
but
there's some strategy there, right? Like there's some. I think people. I mean, the more you think about it, the more you'll start to understand it, I think, is that if you remove Dis from the current meta, like that's a huge vacuum. Like Infernus is gone. Control the Weak is gone. Like Jar is gone. Like double EE shenanigans are gone. Like there's a lot of stuff that just isn't there. Even like Unlock Gateway, like better board clears that are just effective from hand are gone. So it'll be interesting to see what ultimately does win the day.
Yeah. So. Like I don't know. Like it'll be interesting. So to be clear, like people have been asking me. They say, well, is it survival? Is it like thing? But it's just you get to look at your opponent's 2 decks, and then you get to pick one of your 2 decks to play, right?
Yep, that's it. And they'll still be there the next round, and you'll pick again. So I think.
So I think a lot of people are just going to pick one deck, and that's the deck they're going to play. Like you're going to know pretty obviously which deck that is. I think in most cases.
I think the winner of the event will be the one that does end up playing both decks at some point in time.
We'll see, because I honestly I foresee people just like latching onto like one super deck, and then the other deck that has the other 3 houses that don't matter as much, like just sits in the back. But I think that there is value to preparing. Like if you have 2 decks that are kind of on a similar plane but have different concepts, so to say, like if you could play a Ganka deck with something, that is heavy in logos and other stuff that playing with like the untamed logos type, Sanctum maybe or something, or maybe Sanctum Martian Generosity is pretty good. So I don't know. There's a lot of different ways they could go, but it will be interesting.
I think the more strategic way is like, yes, there will be a favorite deck, is to understand what the weakness of that deck could be, and then find a deck to pair with it, that if you see a deck that has 2 of that weakness, you can then choose that and not be like, oh darn, this is the paper to my rock, and be eliminated straight up because of a double bad matchup.
We're having baby issues.
Huh.
We're babysitting. He's crazy. So are they done with this striking stuff yet?
I still don't see the result. Strike tool result.
So as we wait, waiting on Shaka.
Shaka. Have we heard from Shaka at all? I actually see any response to Shaka.
That is true. So maybe he's not even here yet. Auto loss. Game over. Gotta go. See ya.
Oh no, that would be the worst. We've not had that happen all season. I've been pretty proud about all of our players and being diligent about making their matches, honoring their commitment.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I've in the 2 seasons that we've done this, like we've had no issues with the players for the most part. Like there's always little things, but that's
I mean, it hasn't been like
there's been nothing.
There's been little stuff.
Yeah, there's been nothing major, so it is nice to see. I don't have my my headpiece on, like my headband, so these ear things are so hot. You'll be seeing me do like the gecko, where I'll be switching them on and off all night because like my ears are like on fire.
Oh, I just leave mine on. It doesn't.
Oh wait, here it is.
Go crazy. All right. Well, what else we got to talk about? We're waiting on people. Uh,
How about season 3? Anybody curious about season 3? I'm curious.
I mean, I think they know all the details by now, but yeah, 5 decks from 5 sets, rival best of 3 matches. 0, 1, or 2 of your decks will be eliminated every week until we have one remaining combat.
I like it. I think it's gonna be super fun. But
Yeah, I do need to think about different ways to modify our forms because I would like to better track house versus house, like set versus set records. So the reporting form will be a little bit adjusted to be more specific for that.
yeah, we'll see. It says 5 set. That game only has only 4 sets though. Now there's 5 sets. Dark Tiding is a set. It'll be there.
There's a set. You just got to be in Australia or Hong Kong or apparently Italy now.
I just won a Martian generosity auction from a guy in Hong Kong, and so I asked him. I said, "Well, can I see your deck list to see what other decks you're selling?" Because he's getting out, I guess. And so I got a couple decks off him, and I said, "Is there any chance you could go see how much it would cost to ship me a box of Dark
Dark
Tidings?"
tidings.
He's like English or Chinese. I was like, I'd prefer English, but I'm not gonna be
Yeah,
able
you get this crap. I can't read it.
to.
I don't know what these cards are.
I would take it though. Like I would take it just to have it. These will be my first Chinese deck, so I'm excited for that.
I
I got one
I
deck.
think I have a Chinese deck.
I got one deck that's really cool because it has autoencoder, DAV, redacted. Um, what's the other big one? There's like artifacts galore, and it has an animator or not an animator, but the one that lets you play from the archive. You can take whatever cards out you want, like
Oh, Archivist.
archivist.
The Archivist. Yeah,
That yeah, and it's actually super live because of the autoencoder. So it's like,
that's fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Like it's not a world breaker, but it might be a great adaptive deck because it's really a headache, but it's super fun.
I've been like interested in kind of looking at the Dark Tidings stuff that people are posting, but like I don't want to do the work to sit there and translate all the cards. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not look. I wouldn't be looking forward to that either. Like if I got a Chinese box, I probably would wait until it was like populated because opening it would make no sense because I'd just be like, look at the artwork, so cool. Like
Yeah,
no
like I don't
clue,
know what to do.
no clue what card this is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we will be
I
doing.
know, like that on the other side. Like I know what Data Forge looks like. So I look at the thing, I see if it has logos, then I look for Data Forge. Don't see those, and then I just move on. I have not yet seen one of those.
Oh, we do have a Shaka sighting. He came right at 9 o'clock, so
Shaka's here.
right at 9 o'clock on time. No
No
military.
double game loss.
Well, I
Chris,
mean, you said that we don't go by military time. If we were, that means he should have been here 15 minutes ago. But since we're doing civilians, it's like I think 10 minutes late is the regular.
no, I do not respond to Jupiter when he sends me crap in military time. I will not. I'm translating times between CET, GMT, whatever the heck Australian time is,
Military
my
time
own
is
time
easy.
zone compared to Jupiter's time zone. So when he sends me stuff in military, then I have to convert to my time. No, not happening.
It's not difficult.
I'm not doing it. It's
Whatever.
even easier than not difficult if you're not
Uh, 12 years of cryptology, like, kind of set in it, so you get it sometimes. I try not to now, but sometimes you'll still end up getting it sometimes, I bet. Why? Because.
I'm just gonna start typing try again every time.
Try again.
Try again.
Try again. No comprende. Oh,
Um,
goodness.
it's gonna be. This has been a crazy week with all the stuff going on. I think next week's gonna be more fun. We're starting to talk to our casting crews,
Hmm.
getting their availabilities, and then once we know our
Every
rematch week, we're gonna make sure every game is up and blaring at you.
Yep, we're definitely trying to make sure that every game goes live when it's played. So
We
it'd be
will not try. We will.
well, we will because if I have to, I'll get up at whatever time. But the idea here is well, the thing for you guys, if you guys are watching, is to make sure that you're tied into the Team Exalted's Twitch, that you're tied into Screech but Bomb, that you're tied into Call of the Week, and whatever other things that have been used. I think Aviator sometimes puts it on YouTube, but I think he's been kind of going with Call of the Week now. So I think that that's where you catch those. So we're trying to make it so it's not all over the place, but there are like multiple places that you go to see the videos.
Hey, we got the strikes. EQ and Smoke were struck. Game
EQ.
1 will be Anteater versus Guru.
Ooh.
They are making games now. So yes, Anteater with by its owner, CorayThan, and Shaka is running Guru. Does
That's
Shaka own Guru? Is that actually Shaka's?
Is it Shaka's? Probably.
Aviator has the pictures for it, so I think it must.
It might be Aviators. Like I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
For Ooglook, je ne sais pas.
Uh, all right. Password K. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the capital version. Okay,
Oh,
it
so
says he
Nedbike
did
is
open
saying
it
Shaka does own it,
and
but
open
it
it.
has Aviator. Aviator has the pictures on it though.
It's fine. Like doesn't mean that Shaka doesn't
Oh,
own
I
it.
don't care who owns it.
They all
So
live in like they're all in the same like group, so it's like whatever.
they're bared in.
Bearden.
Whatever.
Anyhow,
Opened it. I have never opened anything close to hardly anything in the KFPL. Any of the decks. My opening luck sucks.
yeah, I only recently started getting hot with that in Worlds Collide, so like
Our boy X-Ray has been opening some pretty good stuff lately, and every time he opens the stuff is like, I don't open decks like this. I own decks like this because I buy them. But I do not.
how do you like that, Z? Boom, just for you. There it is.
Thank you. It's like we're casting on the KFPL now. All right. We have Guru on the top with Shaka, and on the bottom we have Anteater and Nathan. I think the key here is with Anteater, as always, is can I set up my control lock? Can my opponent answer it? Can I take advantage fast enough? Double Infernus, triple Exhume is going to try to get rid of those control the weaks, obviously.
And then Neutron Shark is
So
just
we'll see.
looming. And the Neutron Shark Automaton is just looming.
Yeah, it's not. Anteater's like not an actual board deck, but the creatures that it does land are somewhat important at times. So yeah, I think the key to this is going to be if he can cycle the control the weeks effectively by using the life wards, I guess, to prevent the freaking Infernus.
So the question from Sakurai Bear is: this Corey wins guaranteed in and with a win, and then up in the air still with a loss? Yes, if he wins, he's in. But like if he loses and he loses 2-0, he's in trouble. And 2-1, he's still in not a great place.
Trouble. Yeah. Yeah. Many bad scenarios for Nathan if he loses with any result of loss.
Yeah, if Shaka goes Juggernaut on him like he's done everybody else in this group, then Corey will be in pretty big trouble. Like that opens up the door for Rodion, who is like the one way down the list to actually sneak in if he does well against Hobo. So like I don't know. I guess I'm kind of cheering for a 2-0 here.
The perfect season. The Patriots ended up losing in the end, though. So
they did.
So in the what the
there was a perfect season for the Dolphins when it was like a 13-game season. So
yeah,
but I don't know how they like still compare that. Like the Patriots were 18-0 before they lost. I was like that was pretty significant, but not perfect. So perfect.
All right, so Mother with a start is great, even if it is answered with Shark. There's already value there. Obviously not answered yet. Early Infernus is probably. I mean, with the triple exhumes, I guess you don't care, right?
No, you're not gonna let yourself chain for anything. Like with
it's still no. You're not chaining. I'm saying like you don't care as much with this deck.
I'm saying
in some decks that would have been super sad.
Yeah, that would have been sad, but like you're not gonna. He's gonna play things and just keep his hand.
Mindbar was trying to probably swing for high value there, but didn't.
No.
Information exchange was not what Nathan was looking for.
I mean,
he was looking for. I don't know what he was looking for.
It's not. It's not horrible, but like he's looking for Shark. Like Shark, I think Shark is like a.
But then you'd have Exhume mad from Dis with Dis on board. Like I think hitting Shark would have been worse.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, no matter what goes to the graveyard, he has to spend another card to bring it back, right?
Graveyard. I don't know this zone.
Discard.
That's not a zone.
To his discard.
Fine. I still say tap.
I do too. And you never even played Magic.
I did play Magic.
Oh, did
A
you?
little.
Okay. The truth,
Not
the
like.
truth comes out after all this crap he gave me about
I
I don't.
never said I didn't. I just don't say graveyard in the middle of a Keyforge cast.
I will.
All right. Eddie is there. That is not hugely relevant at this point in time, but what is archived is relevant.
And the fact that Automaton is on the board is scary.
Yes. I guess there's a scenario, well, because he could exhume the automaton. Like this triple exhume thing is real hard to deal with. So I am very interested to see how Dark Tidings does hold up against like exhume and furnace, exhume anything in so many decks. It's so good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I would never let a triple exhume with this much value get to play. Like I just couldn't do it. It's like
I think it goes back to what I said. Like I said, I was involved in testing this week, but like I think EQ just beats both decks.
Yeah, it does because he does have 0 artifact control. So once I saw that, I was like, yeah, I could see EQ being the ban. But
I mean, this like Anteater has a chance, but even as good as Anteater is about the control side of things, there's still a not bad chance you just lose. Like
yeah, I agree. And I think that just set him up for like a great success too because of his triad choice. Because now, like with that being banned, like he still gets to play his deck with the Vault Blessings. So like he has a super high roll in his other deck too. So like that's why that's why he's close to having a perfect season. Like maybe he still does it. I think this is an uphill battle for Coray at this point.
Yes. Going back into Dis, we just saw Mindbar, Pit Demon, Schuler, discard 3 Fates. We saw 4 discards from hand, so he drew 4 back. Is he trying to answer the board here? Is this why we're seeing Dis now?
Hopefully he doesn't think he's playing autoencoder still. Okay.
All right, so there's the reason we're in Dis.
Control.
He's going to force back into Logos, which means I know we're going to expect to see an Eddie kill. No reason to do anything to the automaton because it doesn't do anything. I mean, it would cost him an amber, but at this point, I think you have to rush amber more than you have to deny an amber for 3 damage on a creature. So what? This is Schuler kills Eddie, Reap with Pit Demon.
I mean, the theory is sound, but the problem is that he has so much, like, he has so many mechanics to catch up. Like, his deck could, well, maybe it's not as much as like too much of protect has value, but like its value has to come off of the Eddie and the taxing. So I guess that makes sense to just keep the taxing off the board and like kind of devalue the too much to protect. But in the end, like the Infernus exhuming is gonna get old.
When he can just exhume the Eddie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not. It's just such an uphill fight for Nathan. He has to play almost a perfect game and kind of get to his
and get kind of lucky.
Yeah, like, and I'm saying, and he has to get to his control the weak loop like accidentally, almost.
So he chose the Pit Demon to fight the Infernus there instead of the Reap.
Do you think he's? I mean, do you think he's trying to set himself up to have a position to try to kill the automaton? Like
maybe, but again, like I said, like that just means you exhume the automaton in the.
Yeah, but you can't shark exhume in the same turn, right? Like you could play.
You could exhume both of them.
Oh, that's true. That's true, but that would be gross.
But then again, that I guess if you're exhuming both of those 2 cards, you are taking away an exhume on an Infernus and an exhume on an Eddie.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a win.
Yeah. And I think that like he would also have to discard or play the shark and have it die in order to get to the double exhume. So like it's kind of like half a turn, I guess, in speed. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's not a bad idea, but like the problem is that like every creature he adds to the board takes away from that thought. So
yeah. Still, I'm not sure. I think I
mean, we might be just dreaming too. Like it might be just that this is what he was dealt and he's playing what he was dealt. But we like to think maybe there's a plan. Okay, so there's a.
Yeah, because had he reaped there, like the Pit Demon would not have been able to be killed by the automaton, and then the automaton.
I think this kind of tips the scale though to the idea that Shaka like is like the automaton is threatened here if there's a way to kill a creature and then fight the other two, because he made a point to get rid of the pit demon, which
I think the big thing here, though, is Nathan either needs another Control of the Week right now or
he's going
help from Future
shadows.
Self
He's going
to
shadows.
save his Control of the Week. But no, he's going Shadows, so that means most likely we're going to see the Control of the Week, 3 Fates, and Mindburb all purge next turn. Like, that's a high chance. Like, Shaka has 3 cards in archive, 6 in hand. He just needs an Infernus and an Exhume, and all that stuff is gone.
And that's like Anteater's win con, so. Oh, there's the pawn sacrifice. Interesting.
Ooh, we got Effervescent Principle purged from the M Spectre. Effervescent's kind of it could be good, could be bad. I think he was hoping for bait and switch purge because he discarded bait and switch after.
Yeah, probably.
Bait and switch sucks. Definitely does not work.
So you're saying that Nathan actually missed on an RNG is what you're telling me?
Yeah, I know. Here it is. Like, there's the Infernus. There's one Control of the Week gone. I would expect it to be Control of the Week. Relentless Whispers. Yep, that's the target. Do we see an Exhume for the Infernus from the discard pile? For the perfect call.
I mean, perfect would be to catch the other Control of the Week, right?
Well, no. I predicted.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I don't think he's in a rush at this point for that, though. That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to be a bit more tactful with it.
Ooh, it hurts so bad.
I love Collar.
All right, so I didn't get it, but that's better. Like, that's a better turn.
Yeah.
Man, ooh, that hurts. That hurts.
Oh, this deck is so good.
Hurts a lot. Collar, such a good card. Man, it's a big swing in value too. On top of it all, like, normally bad if they can't even reap with it. He can even reap with it when he calls logo.
Yeah, that was a total value collar. It's like I'm getting something off of this collar right away too. I'm drawing that extra card right at the end of this turn. Normally, not going to happen with collar, but.
Here's the Time Traveler. Throw Siphon just doesn't hit. Gonna set up an archive. Cards an Umbra. Doesn't able to answer anything on the other side. Gonna Shadows play.
Yeah, this is still game one, Rob. Moving along. We see.
Ooh, the Hawk on the Exploiter was real value there.
Yeah.
See Nathan's Shadows turns. Remember, like, his Shadows is great. We know this. We talked about it. You're gonna see like incremental steal happen.
Well, he knows he knows that there's an Infernus on the other side, so his Control of the Week has to be money when he does get it. It has to give him some kind of advantage to be able to get a value from it and like maybe get it back. So I could see him like really chaining himself with that, because if he puts that thing in the discard pile and Shaka answers with that Infernus, like zoomed Infernus or anything like that, like it's just gonna be game over. Like that's gonna be it.
Yeah, I mean, that is the win con of Anteater in most games, not all. But yeah, like, if he loses both Control of the Weeks, oof.
Yeah, deck becomes really bad.
That definitely does cut down a lot. He chooses to fight Infernus and not the Mother. I don't know. Do we see the?
Is he trying to trap Shaka by going, hey, use these Infernuses, get them back and use them, and thin his deck for him so that he has a better chance of looping the Control of the Week. That's something.
Well, I'm also surprised about the logos turn this call, because if he had Infernuses or Exude,
Mhm.
like now would have been the time.
Right,
Like there's value
but
in the discard pile
but maybe
because
they.
Time Traveler's there.
Well, maybe they're doing what I'm saying. Like maybe Corey's baiting him to do that because he wants him to thin his deck for him so he can loop his disc that he has left. And Shaka
Yeah.
realizes that and is like, I'm not giving you the satisfaction until I see that Control of the Week. We're not going back to disc.
Ooh, the daughter and the mother. I've always wanted a good deck that had that.
This is as
And
close as
here
it
it is.
gets.
That's pretty funny. Like that's real cool.
You should get like
Fortunate for my.
you should get a bonus card for that.
I mean, isn't all of the cards he's gotten from Mother bonus card?
Yeah, technically.
It's like 5 cards. Man, uh, that's rough. What is a possibility here? Like, I don't know.
If he goes dis, it's game over. Like if he plays like Control of the Week or anything like that, then you're gonna see Shaka just eat it. It's gonna be game over. Like just
Well, but he could call Control the Week and call away from this, right? But like right now,
but
what do you even call? Like, if you call Shadows, you're gonna get TP'd.
yep,
If you call Logos, he reaps for 5.
yep.
Like,
Yeah, you can't kill it if you can't kill the Ede. It's like game over, right?
I don't think I don't think there is a scenario left in his deck that would control the week right now and kill Eddie. Because where is Eddie? He has Hand of Dis. Eddie is immune to that. He's already played through Fates. That's painful. He does have to call this. I imagine we will see. Hey, he returned the mother to his own hand.
That seems like value at this point, right? Like
Yeah. Interesting. He does force him back into Logos. So Nathan's going to forge a key at 10. Chaka's going to at least reap for 4.
and it's almost Mother's Day. Brobner said that it was good to see daughter visit her mother since it's almost Mother's Day. There's Control of the Week. Like, just going, here I am, please don't eat me. So.
I mean, he could still have help from Future Self.
That's true. That would be the saving grace right there. That's got to be what it is because I don't think there's
This
any.
had to be such a painful call for the Control of the Week, because you're giving him all that amber and you don't have a choice.
Oh, here it comes.
So if this is help from Future Self, like that is interesting, but still
He got the loop.
forging at 10, giving him 4 amber, like ow. All right, so there is help from Future Self.
Yep.
The one Control of the Week in deck is still in deck.
Yep. But that's the one time he gets to do that trick because he can eat that help from future self at this point now.
Double Mother, Doc Bookton.
Nice.
Hey, 5 logos to 5 logos. That does make it a lot more interesting than it was. This does mean the discard pile is basically empty on that side.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So is this going back into logos and like reap? I know. I think it can't be go back into logos. And right now we know a lot of his shadows cards are like the too much to protect that don't help.
I think he has to like. Well, maybe not, but like I would think
here. So he's not drawing. He didn't draw anything. So this is reap 5. Oh, he's saying you can't reap with logos.
Oh, that's good too. But like I think that like getting rid of that help from future self would have been huge. I would have fell for that bait
Oh,
because that's his engine now to keep his cards in play, and like,
we can't get it back.
but he can go through his deck and get it back. Like he's gonna be
No,
able to go
this
through.
game will be over for that.
I think
Yes.
we'll see. But there's a
All
lot
right,
of
so he can't reap with Logos. Probably doesn't have much Logos anyway.
yeah. He's in a bad spot. He has to play his the card whatever gives him the most cards to draw because I don't think yeah, there's life
He
order.
does have incremental still in deck, so there is a chance that Shadows here does a little bit of work. He could have. I mean, he could have bait and switch back. He could have Relentless Whispers. He could land a bunch of creatures. He could have Urchin. Oh no, Relentless Whispers is gone. It's in.
Here comes the shadow turn that's gonna make this.
Oh no, it's this.
Or I mean, this turn that's gonna make this game over. Well, maybe not, because he's got another. Oh, there's life ward again. So he's going for glory
And he
here.
does take him off key. The fact that he was able to get him off key that turn
That's
was a pretty important. So we still have a game. That Eddie is very live. It's still alive.
And he took him out of logos, so that's big.
Yeah, he can't revive.
Or use a shark or anything else, so that's big.
We already know one TMTP is in the discard. We have to assume there are others in the archive. But you're right in saying that Control of the Week is already gone. Like, the likelihood he cycled back to it now not high, and he didn't get a key off of this one.
Yeah, I'm not
The
feeling
scenario where he wins this, I think, means that he would have that Control of the Week has to be a key.
He has 2 turns to draw his deck basically, which is 14 cards, which is almost impossible. But like, it's not because he has the life ward to protect the Infernus from taking it, right?
You could potentially draw another life ward if he had it like.
Yeah, so like if he can chain his life wards, that's his out to that, right? Like that's a close one.
Yeah, if we see this turn and a life ward played, like that is a scenario.
But how much? But he only played 1 discard, so like his hand does not have a lot of dis in it. So like I think that's just a bigger trap for him if he does get stuck there. But yeah, I think he has to use the life ward maybe.
Oh no, he played Library of the Damned, Control of the Week, Life Ward, and Schuler. He played 4 cards and he drew 4 cards.
Yeah, well maybe, but
no, but he's playing Shadow, so
yeah,
there's.
He's got to try to take him off check again. Like you can't let him have that. And if he can kill the Eddie here, that would be good too.
Hey, bait and switch steals 1.
Hey, card still has value. See,
so little.
Used to be the god.
Mm-hmm.
It was a false
god.
Yeah.
It was a false god. It's so much worse than so many things now, even if it was unnerfed.
They would never unnerf it though, because that means they were wrong.
Do you want to talk about Archimedes and Blasters? They undid all the.
I don't think they ever settled on anything with those though.
They definitely did. Like Archimedes, they did 2. There are like 2 different Crucible casts you can watch about it being different.
Yeah.
Great.
I was gonna say that was never really settled. Like where bait and switch was put in writing, like game over.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else you got going on here, Nathan? Surely your turn is not bait and switch pass.
He's doing the computing.
Boop boop beep boop.
Does he kill the sanitation engineer here for the value? Does he shoot the Eddie? Does he shoot the Eddie?
I think he's. For the Call to Be Shadows here, I imagine he has Poison Wave. Mm-hmm. So maybe.
Yeah, there's Poison Wave.
He's calculating. Yep. Which
Lights
order to
out.
play what.
Ooh.
Lights out.
Shoot the automaton. Good night.
Hey, with Seeker Needle. That's.
And life ward. Nice.
And he covers up the mechanic so that he doesn't, forward that 5. That would have sucked.
Yeah.
And he oddly has a Shadows board that is somewhat relevant. But won't we just see TMTP here? Like we see
Yeah.
2 in the discard. As I said, I assume 1 is in the archive, and he pulls his archive.
Yeah.
So yeah, But that probably does
But
mean
there's
that
no
Nathan.
creatures. He can't play creatures, so he has to do this. The TMPT is not going to get him
He
off
will.
of a
He
check.
will forge a key because
Yeah.
his only way to stop a key with TMTP is TMTP
Is a
plus
hugger
that like
mugger.
crappy card, Hugger Mugger,
Yeah.
and he can't even play the Hugger Mugger here.
And if he TMPT's here, like Nathan's not in a bad spot with Naughty. Like there could be value there, like for Nathan because of the. Well, maybe not. He probably just goes and reaps in logos at this point, right? I'm thinking.
Yeah, you'd reap 4 times, you get 1
Yeah.
draw there.
Yeah, get the draw with booked in and just put yourself in a great spot. And all 3 TMPTs are gone, right? That was the last one.
And you know he's not drawing into his deck because of the way it is.
Yep, and there's
But
one.
because of that, you also know he literally has 3 Exhumes in his hand.
Yes. Yes, he has a lot of Inferni waiting to strike.
He was able to kill them. And man, he goes higher and higher.
And you know he has the Exhume Barrage.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Nathan cannot stop him from doing something with that. This is where the game is going to take a.
Yeah. This is where the Imp Spectre purging his own EP really hurt him. Yeah. Because he likely would have had access to EP about now because he wouldn't have played it yet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Imp Spectre decision where he was hoping for it to hit bait and switch. When he killed that instead. I don't have any clue what cards he can play here that would actually give him enough value to not get auto crushed by the impending Inferno.
To answer your question, Robiner, about doesn't nerfing it mean they were wrong? No, it just means that they had an oversight at that point. But saying, oh no, it's nerfed, and then unnerfing it, that means that they made a mistake in the nerfing. But
yeah, he tried for the hitting. He got a little fall. That's sad. Schuler gets a little value. 3 fates he can't play again. Second time in a row he had to discard that. And it looks like he might not even have the second life ward. Nope, didn't even have that.
3 cards short of the flip. Sad days. Because now we're gonna see like Dis without a question, right? Like
this is a hard decision on Shaka's side because he can obviously like bring in all the Infernus. He's got 1 Infernus. Nope, is it 3 and 2?
I think he gets to check here. That's what he does. Like whatever he does has to get the check in. Like leave him in check.
He's got 3 Exhumes. He can play 3 pips from hand and get.
Yeah.
Just does he care about getting just Exhumes or does he want other things to cause something?
I think you got to get rid of the Umbros, right? Like I think that's a priority.
I don't know if calling disc can do that. That's a problem. As we said, there is no answer to that forge.
Yum, yum, yum. Infernus number 1. Yum, yum, yum. Feed me, Seymour. Here comes Infernus number 2. Goodbye all your engines. Goodbye all your tools.
Yep.
Life ward, control the weak. Now here goes help from future self. And actually, I don't even think he cares about help from future self at this point. Like the lights out is probably more dangerous than the 3 fates. But nope, he eats that one too.
Wait, does he have misery exploit? Because that's super over if he does, right?
Does he have misery exploit? I don't think so. I don't remember. Yeah, he does. Oh goodness.
Like we haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is game over. Like this is so bad.
If it's in the 2 cards in his draw, that could be.
Is it
But that's
purged? Oh,
5
it's
amber?
purged. It's right there. It's purged. No, it's already purged.
Okay. I don't remember how that goes. Oh, he purges himself on turn 1. Like, when he played all the cards,
Yeah.
he had played a turn 1 Furnace. He purged it.
This is about as good as Corey could have done, though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he kept it a lot closer. Like, that shows how well he played it. But this just is like this deck has too much. Like, it's just too
Mm-hmm.
much. This deck is amazing, and the fact that he opened it and like has been playing it since however long he's had it, like.
Like I said, that's all nonsense. I don't open anything close to that ever.
Oh, the world doesn't revolve around a Z.
What? What are you talking about? I was talking about revolving around me. It's just most people don't open that.
Yeah. But there are some that do. Yeah, you've met one. See,
Very, very few.
I bet you there's a lot of people in this league that have that decks that they've opened. That's an interesting going out question.
Like they're opened the decks that they're playing.
Yeah, like you know that like Hobo has his deck, like Siaka or Shaka has his. Like there's got to be other people that have decks that are like things they open that they're just super comfortable and happy with.
Maybe. Well, it didn't auto in there, so that was something. Um,
I
he
mean,
has steel 3 on board. I don't think Shaka can win from hand with the Obsidian Forge this turn, since he just played basically all the disc left in his deck.
this is interesting. Like, can he sneak this out and win?
I don't think so, but we'll see. Because, like,
See, Robner opened Hillen, but you're not playing Hillen though. But yeah, there's it's people don't understand that like you literally can open like 30 boxes and not get a grid
Luke
hit.
is mentioning he's never opened anything like this stuff, but he's
Oh,
only
he opened
opened
60
60
decks.
decks. I've opened a hell of a lot more decks, and I have gotten.
I can say that like I haven't like
We finally see the Auto Shark, which is literally only going to get one chance, or two because of the discard file will empty.
mm-hmm.
So it will kill 2 things. It kills something, Dodger,
Gotta
and
kill
I
the
guess an
secret
Umbra.
needle. Kill the secret needle.
I think it's going to kill one of the Umbras, right? Because like we know that Nathan's deck's running out of steel.
Yeah, I guess.
You see 2 of it on or 3 of it on board. There,
But now
you answered 2 of them.
but that shark is now a point of amber for him if he goes into shadows, and he still gets the steal off of the Umbra.
Yeah,
But yeah,
without like analyzing his deck like a lot, don't you win if you go to 7? Like
yeah,
2 of the
probably.
steel are gone. Like if I go through the deck, the Schulers are on the board. Pit Demon is not live right now.
Oh,
Neurosyphon is dead.
there's the big
Effervescent is gone.
there's the big tax too with the Eddie, and
Well, and now
he's
he
turning
already
off.
used
What did he turn off?
Seismo stopped
Logos,
logos.
which means he kind of has to go into shadows here, right?
So in shadows, he could.
His dis is crippled, so like his dis is really
Well, but he doesn't.
he needs amber, right? Like he has to put himself in check.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to call a house that would get him off check, so he could potentially cycle his deck here.
But it,
But
like
even that, there's not much left in the deck that would even help him
so I
because,
said I think
like,
the Umbra into Eddie steal and then shoot with Secret Needle, gain 1, reap with Urchin, like or even fight the Neutron Shark to get rid of it. But like I don't think you even have to. I think you just reap with the Urchin, put yourself in a position to have 3 amber, so and you bring it back down to 6, so that's 8. He'll be on 8 amber, 6, to make. I think that could be. Well, probably not, because he's reshuffled and all he needs is an exhume for his Eddie, and it's like, see you later. But like, what is his best out to win is like what we need to know here, and like, not going to
he's
check.
going into Logos, but he can't reap in Logos. Did he miss it?
I don't know, but that makes no. That seems bad.
There's no way. He had to have missed this.
Neurosiphon? Hmm.
Oh, I mean, I guess he's turning amber from hand.
Yeah, I can't imagine he would miss that. So,
Uh,
so is he gonna just fight out the board to get the Obsidian Forge down? I guess that
well,
makes
Bookton
sense.
couldn't reap anyway, but like he could kill
But he has to get
the
the Obsidian
Eddie.
Forge offline. That's the his. I think that's why he's gonna just fight the 4. Like he has to fight. Like he can't afford to leave that many creatures on the board. Like if he does, he just loses.
Yeah. So what? He kills the 2 Infernus.
He's got to kill.
Uh,
He's got to kill like, the Eddie has to go. The
well, remember,
technician.
like under Obsidian Forge, the Infernus count double. Reap is like a double.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So I guess both Infernus
So
have
I
to go.
think like this
And the
has to
Eddie.
be Infernus Eddie.
Yeah, I think so. And the automaton doesn't count towards the forge,
Nope.
so that's a plus.
Oh, he went for the wormhole.
Hmm.
I don't. This one has to be Eddie.
I mean, he has to do one Infernus and one Eddie at least, right? Like, well, I guess he doesn't have to kill the Eddie technically because he has 7. So, and the Exhume on the Eddie would be more value. So, like, that's kind of smart. That was a pretty
Yeah,
good. That was
that's
a pretty
true.
good. That was a pretty good play. That was pretty good forward thinking because
Yeah. So at that point, like there was only one sacrificeable creature here to the Forge Fire.
yeah, but the problem is that now if he has that Exhume that he would have used on the Eddie, he just brings back the Infernus, right? And like gets to eat pips.
Yeah.
But there's no
I don't know how
discard. But
much
there's no
logos he has
discard.
in his
No,
draw.
there's no discard though. Never mind. He actually set that up perfect because he drew and there's no discard. So he can't exhume the furnaces for any value other than if he plays the value because there's no cards in the discard and his 4 cards are not with pips. That was actually really good. I see it.
So he's going logos.
Well, yeah, because Infernus doesn't do anything.
There are no. Oh, that's yeah. I
That's
that's
what
weird.
that's what I've just been telling you for the last 5 minutes.
It's still
You
weird.
never
It's still
listen to me,
weird.
so it's
My
okay.
brain doesn't work. Dr. Millie. Ouch. Well,
That's
that's
game. That's him. Oh no, because yeah, because the Edai that Millie. Wow.
oh man.
So close. That was so well played. Like Nathan's playing a great game. Dr. Millie.
Brutal.
That's funny.
Yeah, that should be it.
That's funny.
Yep, you can see it's Chaka what.
That was almost a perfect game by CorayThan, and like he still couldn't crack it. Like that's crazy. That deck is so good. Wow, that was fantastically played by Coray. But that Dr.
Yeah.
Mealy was like legit. Like holy
Did
crap.
everything he could and
Hmm.
came up short.
That was a great game of Keyforge, folks. Like if
Yes.
you want to watch a textbook amazing
Lots
game.
of good stuff. This is why Shaka is undefeated. It's also why Nathan has won 2 vaults.
Yeah. Oh man. Like if there was ever somebody that played as good a game as they could and lost, that was it. Like I don't think if I'm Nathan, I'm not sad about losing that game because I think he played everything exactly how he had to play it. But Shaka just answered like he had
Yeah.
answers. Man, that deck is so good. Answers for everything.
Guru is
All right, so now we're down to
Neviness.
Neverness, the I'm going to play straight gas on your ass Mass mutation versus Deidre.
So they need to
He's
remake.
yeah, because they switched. He switched decks though, so that's interesting. That's something that you say you usually don't like to see, but it's happening.
I guess.
But he knows that there's going to be discs, so it makes sense, I guess. You want to be in a position to at least win,
That's true.
get yourself to game 3. He probably needs a break because that last game was straight mental. Like it was so good.
One, yeah, the wins could. If he loses, there ends up being like all of the scenarios now.
Okay, so
Um,
we're good to go to the game here.
so
Switch.
yes, on the bottom we have. Oh, you're not in.
I am in.
Oh, then you're not. There you go. On the bottom you have Nathan Seat versus on with Nathan. On top you have Shaka with Nevin S of the Selfless Capper.
All right. So I think this is the right call to switch to Nathan Seat because he needs a win, and I think Nathan Seat is a better matchup for this matchup because of the
Mm-hmm.
because I know that the amount of like amber that can be produced off of this MM deck is nuts. There is an Eaton's jar in it though, so that could
I
just
mean, I think you just jar EE, and
and it's
that
game
might be
over.
it.
Yeah.
Like, um, I mean, I don't like
Go.
to oversimplify certain matches, but that could be it.
They're like, we're waiting on a go, and I'm like, go. We are with you. Go, my children. Fight. Let's make this a little bit bigger.
Ready, fight!
Crane kick.
All right, we have Shaka on the play. Do we see turn one jar EE? Concede.
That would be that'd be a way for Juggernaut to just be like, I'm Juggernaut, bitch. Like that's the that's that play.
10, 12. Oh. All right, no, we do not see turn one jar. Okay, cool.
Okay.
We have a game.
At least for another turn.
All right, Star Alliance, Lay of the Land, beautiful card. Super happy it is coming to the next.
Stealth mode.
That doesn't stop jar. So all
No.
right, Untamed. Troop calls discarded. Ghost Hawk gets a little bit of value. Another Ghost Hawk does any value.
That's sad.
Pismire.
I guess if you're Nathan, that's good for you.
Are we about to see Red Alert?
That'd be
This
sweet.
is a good time for it. Nope, we're not going back into.
You're going to this.
Do we see Three Fates? Nathan's a big fan of Three Fates. He really does love that card. He talks about it quite a bit.
It's pretty
It
solid.
would be a good time for it.
It's pretty solid
The
if you're
funny
playing.
thing is, he had to discard it twice last. Like that hurt him real bad. But anytime he would have played it,
Ooh, a Taromi is pretty good. The
yeah,
EA.
Zoom is gonna do nothing. Sad.
Yeah, he just getting rid of some cards.
Weird initial hand. We've all had them.
Yeah, but both sides are weird right now, so that's good. And him getting an EA to the board at least means that one of them can't get stopped right now.
Well, I'm killed it.
But is Jar going after? I think Jar has to go after EA, right?
It would had he not played one. Had he already played one that does change it a little bit. I think he's still. Oh, yeah.
I think the Imperiums are a pretty good hit too, but
the Exhumes would be good, but he already played one of those. Well, man, he is really hoping he drew into one of the two red alerts now. This is getting already.
if there was a red alert, I think this would be Snap Star Alliance, though. And it's not.
Oh, nope, it's this.
Yep,
There's the three
fates. Okay.
So, what? Pismire. Oh, well, no. You probably hit Drecker, Engineer, Charette. Yeah.
The Pismire is not that dangerous at this point.
I mean, if you're not going in the check.
Greater Oxet. He does get rid of the Shrix.
a little interesting. I think like the Strix play could have been a potential line he chooses. He does play this deck a lot. Obviously, it's named Nathan.
I think he's just trying not to give any extra amber the other way. Like, right? Like it's a
That's
gamble.
true.
Especially
I
like,
think in general, this is just going a lot slower than both of us expected on both sides. Like it's
yeah, this is
really
definitely
weird, weird lines.
this is definitely not the optimal. Oh, there's a Brachus.
I guess that means we're not going to see
There comes the
Axe
Imperium.
double.
Double Imperium. Extra words stop extra damage pips, right? No, sorry, that's not how that works.
No, he's making a joke.
I know he is.
Yep. He purged Imperium, so he must have had something else in his hand that he could not afford to get rid of. All right. This is a somewhat nice board on the other side. We haven't seen this. Oh, I guess we just see this. So what? Maybe we're going to come back to Untame this turn on Chaka's side. Do we see the Vault's Blessing?
Could see it. I don't know.
You do have a pause in the house call. So this is the age-old considering the value of the board versus the value of the hand. Which does that mean he drew into more discs? Yeah, he did draw into discs. So we're not going to see any playing of the board. Do we see Jar come out? Soul Keeper on QMech. Grim Reminder is played. Going to probably hit this, I guess. If he chooses. Yeah. So he got his Snorret and the Dracker back into his arc. Along with. That's what it's his arc is currently. Starline. Watch us see the red alert now when it doesn't actually. Other than so. Yep. Yep. That's generally my experience with red alert. Shows up the turn after you need it.
Well, I kind of needed it like a while ago, right? But like he had window, like a bigger window than normal to make it work, but it just now
Yeah, just
decided to
didn't get
show
it. Medics, and then probably cover up the Tabor. And some value there. He is in check at 8. This Pismire seems like it's been there the whole game. Was it there the whole game? Played it on turn 2? Yep. Usually long lived. This is turn 6, and we don't have a key. This is slightly abnormal, I think, for both of these decks. We have Shaka tanking a little bit on the house call. Finally seen Untamed again. Fangtooth does come down. Punctuated Equilibrium. It's always a crapshoot. He dumped a lot of Saurians. He dumped an Exhume. He dumped a City State. That's probably the most significant thing that got dumped, along with the Axiom, which would have answered the board. So that was a pretty good punctuated hit. He is now firing up the Resurgence to grab a Cyberclone and Infernus. So that's a really good Resurgence. He's going to end at check. Lets Nathan have the key at 8. High value on the tax there. And he uses the Cavern to kill the medic. So do you go into Star Alliance with all the value here, Jupe? You with us, Jupe?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening to you.
We saw his hand got discarded of mostly Saurian, so yeah, he gets to go back into Star Alliance because both of these are live. And fires Brachus, Tabor fires a card, and probably kills Pismire with the blaster.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, so I'm not saying nothing.
But he killed the Bookton. This Pismire is still alive. What is going on? But not the Pismire. So that wasn't involved in practice. So I didn't know if the plan was let's forge 3 keys at 24 Amber.
That doesn't sound like a winning strategy, Z.
Does not sound like advice. So, I mean, turn's not over, so maybe Pismire is going to die here, but it doesn't look like.
Helmsman Spear.
Stealth mode. Nope, Pismire lives. Cool.
But will Spears live? That's
I don't think Spears lives. Any damage pip kills him. A lot of damage deck.
There's a ward on it now, though, so.
Well, Fangtooth.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Fangtooth eats him. 5 damage pips in the deck. Cyberclone, standardized testing hits him. Diametric charge. There's lots of things that hit Helms right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are about to finally start. I don't know at this point what it is. Could be Exhume now. Could be EE. He's about to flip the deck. So basically, all of the targets that were there at the beginning of the game, other than the Purge cards in his pile, aren't targets.
This game's kind of like interesting. It's going textbook. We haven't seen Cyberclone yet either, have we? So that's an interesting card.
No, Cyberclone, great.
It's a good way to get rid of a Brachus.
Good way to get rid of almost. Some hard choices here. He goes for the City State and the Stealth mode, knowing that City State is a big way for his opponent to stay in games.
And to make keys, like if that Brachus doesn't get killed.
Mm-hmm.
So. The Dark Minion. That's a way to pop.
I mean, I don't. Okay, there you go. That will remove the word. And now Fangtooth is targeting.
Chomp, chomp.
Yeah. There it is. I was about to say, I'm still expecting to see the jar.
It took a while though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, we were seeing a lot of weird turns, so I don't think we're seeing like a lot of three card hands or 4 card hands. Just that happens sometimes.
So where's this jar gonna go? There it is.
E on the fringes
Fringes.
is the call. Makes
That is sensible.
and there's no artifact, so that will remain the call. The rest of
So that now brings up the question of like why he was purging some of his Saurian stuff earlier, because that was kind of like his alternate win con, I think, and I think that now he's pretty handicapped.
yeah.
Like I don't think Star Alliance is. I mean, yeah, I don't think Star Alliance is good enough to get him to a win. Like he needs his Saurian at this point.
I think it can. We've seen it like do the Star Alliance board control win in one of the games, but against Infernus, where you're constantly thinning the cards that you want to thin as you go, it's hard to like win with a certain house because all the value.
There's a good red alert at least.
Oh, and misery exploit.
Yeah. So there's value there, right there. That was nice. Tabor doing Tabor things.
Got to be. I think you got to fight in the Infernus to kill the Drekker and the Infernus with the Legionnaire here. Flying Squirrel is joining us. This is game 2. Nathan lost game 1, so Shaka is currently 1-0. Playing for the perfect season.
And Corey's playing for his life.
Nathan is potentially playing for his life. If he loses 0-2,
he's in a bad spot.
There are many scenarios where he gets out of the top.
We already know Aviator won 2-1, so we know where he's at, and then it would really depend. It's going to come down to that Flaming Hobo versus.
Drew into standardized testing, which is pure gold for him. Man, what a draw! Letho for the win. Man, that card so good.
Cyberclone
gonna continue the pain.
Oh,
so at this point, Nathan has 6 purge cards, 2 that he cannot play. Like he's down to 28 cards in deck. Oof,
hey,
that's not good.
Hey, Pippin ain't easy.
Pippin ain't easy. Not when you're facing Cyberclone, Jar, and 3 Infernus.
And a Fangtooth.
Is it 3? Oh no, it's only 1 Infernus. So like I guess that's not that great.
It just feels like 3 when it's taking all your best stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, Andy constantly seems to have board against like every time.
Red alert.
Both red alerts are in the discard, so that is not.
Yeah, I'm saying like red alert. It's the card he's needed all game. Still, oh, there's a reshuffle at least.
Yes. Expect to see this here if for anything just to kill the Amber that's on Starret. Novu Dynamo does its thing by discarding cards and gaining Amber. Such a good card. All right. As I said, I expect. Yep. This. At this point, I'm giving my opponent very few ways to come back on me, which means get rid of the Amber on Starret. You see. If he can't go to check, I actually just kill Lothal with Hystricog. If he can go to check, I reap. He destroys Lothal because he's not going to check. Pick a rune. Is going to be what, 12? Oh, yep. Yep. And separates the 2 logos creatures because that's kind of.
Because group think tank.
Yeah. Oh, but then it. because of the
It died.
cavern has to eat.
Kind of wonder if you don't like kill the cyberclone here and put it back into like your cycle because you're getting ready to cycle.
Oh, he top decked both EEs on that turn,
That's
and then he discards Edda because if he plays it, it'll just be eaten. Oh, saddest turn. He uses the Novu to discard the autoencoder because at this point the Amber is more valuable. That is the correct call. He
yeah.
just wants to draw more cards. He plays the False Blessing. I think we are seeing it now. I
I think we see perfection.
do not see us. I mean, this is Red Alert, so.
Hmm.
He often says Gray is his most important card in this deck. I think this is the first time we've seen it.
I can hear all the bears like clapping paws at this point. They're excited. The word drums are out.
Yeah.
Big bear
Hey,
party.
Pismire's back. You will forge a key at 8 or not at all. I
think we're seeing the sweep. I think you're seeing the odds-on favorite in the tournament so far.
Are we? I mean, dominating one group doesn't necessarily mean favorite to
This
win,
was
but yes.
this was a pretty damn good group. This
is
was
about as good. Like that's.
I'm just
I would
saying.
never have bet that.
Of the players that I know in this group, in the decks that I saw in this group, I think that this was a very commanding and very like
For sure.
a very good run. So like this is an odds-on favorite. Like, am I putting down? Damn it, no, he's doing just as good. Like a couple losses.
It's not doing just. No one is doing because you can't have done just as good as this.
Well, whether you win 2-1 or 2-0, you still win, right? Like there's still like two.
It's a pretty damn significant difference to win 12 games in a row.
We'll see.
In Keyforge.
We'll see.
It's not a we'll see thing.
We'll see.
What do you mean we'll see? Explain what that means.
I'm just saying. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm asking you what you're saying, bro.
I'm just saying that.
Perfect. 12 games in a row of Keyforge at the premier level.
Yes. It is an accomplishment. Wow. He gets the golden boot.
Yeah. Of asking. It's like, man. Yeah, I'm going to bounce out and call them and see if they answer. We didn't ask them. But hey, see if they pick.
We'll see what they do here. What they if they're going to be up for it. I know I'd be up to listening to that talk. Let's see if we can get. It looks like we got Shaka and Corey.
They all joined in. All right.
All right.
So, I don't know who to start with. So Shaka, 12 in a row.
So first of all, like, well played, both of you. Like, the games were intense, and I think that Corey, like game one especially, you played as perfect as you could. I saw no flaws and like some great lines that people weren't even aware of what you were trying to get done until after the play had been made, and then Shaka just seemed to have absolutely like the perfect answer every time. So like I think you guys were in a pretty deep cerebral war, and it was very awesome to watch. So congratulations.
Yeah, Shaka did a great job of thwarting me by spending the first half of the game gaining 0 amber. So good job on that.
Sounds bitter.
Well, it was good. Like, I had things to steal with. I had nothing to steal.
Shaka, was that your intention? Shaka here?
I haven't talked, so I don't know. Maybe he can hear us. I
don't see him.
All right, he's saying he can hear us. He's trying to fix the mic. So, Nathan, you switched decks after the game lost 1. We asked everyone that does that why. So why did you go from Anteater to Nathan's seat, going from game 1 to game 2?
Depending on the results of the other game in my bracket, it would have been valuable to have one win, and in our playtesting, Nathan deck was more favored, so I switched.
Got it. Makes sense. How did you like? I know the game one was weird because you couldn't steal anything, and there's like definitely some of that weirdness we saw in the play. At some point, it looked like you could have potentially been advantaged. Like, how did you feel going through game one all the way up until the end?
Yeah, no, I remember that moment where it was like, oh, maybe I could actually win this, but most of it was kind of a drag.
Gotcha. Yeah, having to constantly play around the like, I know the exhumes in that deck are the biggest threats a lot of the time, and at some point, they're like halfway through the game, and none of them have been played. It's just like that's probably not where you want to be at that moment in time. Because everything you just worked to navigate could just come back.
I would have much preferred if Shaka had maybe brought a couple exhumes on turn one. That would have been preferred. I mean, the TMTPs, I suppose, thrown away on turn one weren't the worst possible thing, or early in the game, but exhumes would have been better.
Yes, for sure. That did seem like a hurdle that was just constantly looming because, like, Jupiter I were like, well, he still got 3 exhumes somewhere, and his archive kept getting bigger. So it's like there's just going to be a turn in this game that's going to obliterate. Like,
and like the shark being not drawn also made it sort of an ever-present concern. I definitely took, I don't know, I spent a lot of effort trying to take out the automaton. But...
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, there we go. We have a Shaka.
We have a Shaka.
Great. Sorry about that. I think I was using Discord in the browser, and sometimes there are AV bugs, so that does stop out.
Yeah, it's no worries. Well played. I don't know if you actually heard what we were saying, but the idea was like how much into the game plan that Corey had were you countering? Like what were your thoughts in that first game, especially? He said that you weren't playing Amber. Was that strategic, or was that just a coincidence that like you didn't have Amber to play? Like, or did you actually have a game plan for that?
No, it was on purpose. So my approach in this matchup was to just hit the deck's weaknesses really hard. And what I noticed about Anteater was it can have trouble controlling the board if it gets out of hand. And a lot of the burst in Amber comes from shadows. So at the beginning of the game, I focused on building the board. And there was a point where I had to cut the research. And I was thinking, like, he hasn't played shadows in 3 turns. Like, some Relentless Whispers is probably coming, so I just discarded it, and then it actually got played the next turn. So that was pretty nice because at the end of the game, it came down to 1 or 2 Amber, and in my testing, Anteater could outpace me like by getting exactly to the right amount. So I had to be really cognizant of that.
Sounds like you did your homework and it paid off. Because I think Corey, I can honestly say I think Corey played as perfect of a game as he could against that deck. Like I thought it was going to be a really like most people would not be able to navigate a win with Anteater against you, but he played his deck as perfect as he could, and like I think that you just had the answers. Like I think your intel was spot on because. At least it seemed
that way. There was a turn in there. I thought had he drawn like the Life Ward back to back, it would have gotten potentially real bad for you, Shaka. But like that didn't happen. I was like, okay. Once that didn't happen, his second control of the week was going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really competitive matchup. Either way, I mean, it just depends a ton on like when the Shark and the Automaton fall and how they control the weeks, and, Life Wards and Help from Future Self like fall, whether I get a bunch of mothers first. Like if I just get like a couple of mothers early on, then I can, outrace most any deck. But no, that one was a very
the collar,
good game.
The collar on the mother, like that. Like I lived 5 turns, so it's like there's 5 cards. Like that's
when I chose to not kill the mother that was collared, I was betting on being able to go back to Dis and use the fear a little bit earlier than ended up possible to do, which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, at least the mother got to see her daughter, so that was nice.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they were reunited.
We got to hang out.
It's close to
I've always wanted the legacy mother and then the daughter deck in it. never happened.
Brobner pointed out that it was close to Mother's Day, so it was very nice of her.
Yes,
But,
yes.
yeah, but both games were pretty incredible. Like the second game seemed like it was a little bit slow for both of you off the start. We expected, I think, a little bit faster of a burst in the early game, but it seemed like you guys were both in kind of an awkward draw. So it was interesting to watch it kind of build and then come back around and get moving. But like, how did you guys feel about game two?
Oh, yeah, my draw sucked.
I think.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
I was gonna say, I
Your
think
draw
yours.
sucked too, though, so I can't really complain that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting configuration because I basically, if I didn't get autoencoder in testing, like I would lose, like pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just had to play like really careful pacing. I think Infernus and the Jar turning up at the same time was nice because I just purged all the Amber control, which is Nathan Seat's weakness. And then Vault's Blessing hadn't shown up yet, so I knew that was going to be a big turn.
Yeah, we were very much under the impression that it would have been like Eaton's Jar turn 1 and GG with the EEs, but like I don't know, like it was just a weird that like it took forever to see the deck kind of get moving.
Actually, like the purge on the city-state interest was pretty huge. Like that thing, like in this matchup, like that can go off much more than normal. Nathan's seat against this deck, the Brachus city-state is more effective than normal.
Yeah, it's devastating. And the punctuated equilibrium, like I had a huge sigh when I discarded City State and Axiom of Grisk. Like those cards could really warp the game.
It was about to happen.
It's like that's a huge plug turn. Like that was gigantic.
That would have been nice. Made my next star turn a little bit better than it would have been, but
yeah, I think
not good enough.
I think it was still a wonderful game. Like, and you're not mathematically out yet. So like, we just have to see what happens. And Shaka, congratulations to like going golden boot. Like, perfect season in the regular league. Now let's see if you can carry that through the bracket.
Yeah, I hope so. Last season I was 5-1 in my group, but I got knocked out of the first round by Rodion.
Yeah, well,
great player.
Yeah, well, Rodion is alive. Like, he could still make it if he beats Hobo 2-0 for sure.
I mean, after my game, he said he finally figured out Candleholder. That's the key to winning with the deck. So
yeah, yep. Playing against Rodion late in the season, opposed to earlier in the season, was definitely a swing for some of his opponents.
Yeah,
yeah. Candleholder is a bit rough. He's playing all three of the decks that are in my thing. So I told him to practice, but he hadn't. I don't think he actually got into them until
he practiced with
3.
the KFPL games. That's what you told him to do, right? Like, you'll play the games, you'll practice because you played.
Yeah.
Well, if that's how good he is without practicing, like that's a pretty scary thought.
I mean, he was top 16 season 1, so here he is.
He destroyed me season 1.
Yeah, he was the surprise. Yeah, he was the surprise of season 1, and then he had said coming into this event that he hadn't had as much time. Like he hasn't played Keyforge since season 1 when he came in, so like he's kind of he was knocking rust off and stuff. But he's a very good player. Like he makes a lot of very very good decisions. He's like Nathan in that calculated approach, like where he's like you feel like you're playing against a computer that makes all the right calls. But we'll see. Like like Hobo in Rodion is a must watch. Like we have to make sure that if we can catch that one, we do, because that one has a lot on the line.
Seems relevant.
Yeah, seems big. So we'll see what we can do. But I got nothing else for you guys. I don't want to keep you too late. It's like
yeah, thank you for being featured so much, Nathan. Congratulations, Shaka, for being perfect. Right, like that's perfect.
Yeah,
it doesn't get better than that.
You get your own tag in Discord. We just haven't figured out what it is yet.
Oh God, you and your fake tags.
Hey,
all right, yes, we'll give you a new tag.
Hey, it's swag. It's good swag. We got Mad Lads, and now we need something crazier. Maybe we'll call it the Golden Bear in honor of you.
Golden Bear. All right. Well, good luck to both of you in your future endeavors. Shaka will be seeing you in a couple weeks. You get a whole week off where you just kind of get to watch the show.
Yeah, and once the brackets are out,
looking forward to it.
Once the brackets are out, you can get early practice in against both the guys, and whoever wins, you'll be ahead of them. See, so that's the bonus of the week 1 bye, I guess. It's like you can kind of at least start thinking about it. So, and you get to watch them suffer going through that like 2-3 match where they're going to be.
And now you can actually give me advice on how to play the decks I'm playing in ABR Triad.
Yeah, we're on the same team in ABR, and he was using my KFPL decks. So it's like, how much should I
I'm
tell
pretty
him?
sure the triad is just here you go crush your opponent.
Yeah, like
Have you seen the decks I'm playing against in ABR? No, it is not
I
go
actually
crush my
did see
opponent.
No,
them.
they're stupid decks. Like they're really good.
I saw.
They are also stupid decks.
I'm glad my team is not playing. That's all I'm gonna say. We just might not make it here, like any of them.
The
It's a
ABR
rough
Triad
battle.
playoff triads may be more stacked than KFPL.
It's yeah. I chose poorly. I'm in the wrong bracket.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, keep forging all. Have a good night. We will have some more events coming up. I think our next cast, it won't be us specifically. We KFPL. We have Saturday early in the morning, Saturday 2 p.m., Saturday 4 p.m. That will be all of our central matches. Lots of stuff still on the line. And you'll see some more of the people you've seen recently next week battle for their life to make it into the top six.
Yeah.
Jupiter, finish this up.
Yep. So just keep forging, and we'll catch you on that flip side.
Killing machine.